This is Derron Sandy, and I want to know what's going on.
These bareback blacks living in barracks behind God's back kind of poems with no pinpoint argument, just flowing.
Okay, so Derron, tell us about the 2 Cents movement, what you're here doing in Barbados, gender-based violence. What was it all about?
The 2 Cents movement is a not-for-profit arts-based organization where we use spoken word poetry as our major tool of outreach, and we always encourage you to make their voices active in conversations surrounding social issues, to be critical and conscious thinkers. We have this phrase, consciousness is cool. So we encourage them to think, speak, care, and then act. That is the watchwords of the movement itself. We are over in Barbados, continuing our 2-year intensive campaign surrounding gender-based violence and conversations surrounding that. That would have stemmed from the violence that was happening against women in Trinidad and Tobago at a point in time, and we decided that we had to get involved actively. So using the arts, we will go to different schools and empower students to have conversations surrounding gender-based violence, consent, of course in collaboration with the Institute for Gender Development Studies at the University of the West Indies in St. Augustine. So we here in Barbados, we met with a great group of people, dynamic poets and artists, all with that desire to see better in Barbados. So we had conversations with them, we had a workshop with them surrounding GBV, consent and child sexual abuse, those issues. These artists will then in turn go to 5 secondary schools in Barbados and empower students to talk about it using spoken word poetry, just as we'd have done in Trinidad. The project is happening in 3 territories, Barbados, Trinidad and Guyana as well. We came from Guyana a week ago, doing the same kind of work with some younger people across there. It's a project powered by the British High Commission, and of course it's always good to see corporate society teaming up with artists to address social issues.
What is your overall objective for not only 2 Cents movement, but what you have done here today? What's your overall objective, what you like to see?
To see students empowered, to see students setting the precedent and the redefining the things that generations before would have considered normal, when that normal actually causes hurt and pain to other people. So I'd like to see a generation redefining and creating conversations around those issues, and just creating a better region, a better Caribbean society.
All right, so tell us now a little bit about your performance pieces, because you are a theater practitioner as well as a spoken word artist.
That's right. I try to address social issues through performance, the condition of the young black male in Trinidad and Tobago, issues surrounding crime and violence, and simple issues of how we relate to each other. So my pieces are generally about the condition of the young black male in Trinidad and Tobago, how they can better address their situations without crime, without violence. Of course, in Trinidad and Tobago, we have a lot of issues surrounding gang involvement, especially for young people, and the Afro-Trinbagonian male has been the one affected mainly by issues like that. So my poetry is generally around those areas. In terms of theater, I always try to write something thought-provoking, because I work within a Christian community, but with a lot of non-Christians coming to watch it as well. So how can we really begin conversations in a way that's not intrusive or not similar to what you'll hear in church, like a pastor preaching down your neck, so to speak. So we use the art to kind of give it a soft and more unique touch, and it's usually very successful with the young people there. Yeah.
All right, so before we go, tell us where we can find 2 Cents, where we could find you, where we could find everybody.
The 2 Cents movement at Facebook and Instagram, the number 2 Cents movement. Make sure and check us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and me, Derron Sandy. You can check me out, Derron Sandy, on Instagram, just Derron. And of course, I'm Derron Sandy, performance poet, on Facebook. If you just type in Derron Sandy, you'll reach my personal profile, and I'll talk to you anyway. So let's keep in contact for sure. Yeah. This is Derron Sandy, and I want to know what going on is all about spoken word poetry rhythm, defined by time that measured movement in space. When words enter into a lyrical space, it becomes spoken word, because you see words shoot at such a lyrical pace, ears can fully embrace its sweetness, especially when displayed in the fleetness of alliteration and the uniqueness of rhyme and the neatness of metaphor. With one line, you could penetrate the concrete confines of a man's mind. We out!
Gender-based violence to me is
any kind of violence that
is intentionally inflicted.
is targeted towards a particular person of a particular gender.
It's violence that occurs out of the expectations based on how we construct genders.
Between one gender to the other.
Stem from abasement, discrimination, and stigmatism based solely on gender.
Who have been abused themselves.
From a lack of respect and a lack of consent within our cultures across the region.
And gender-based violence is something that's kept on the low.
It's out of control. I think that every time that we raise a conversation about it, there are too many stories.
Especially here in Barbados.
They'll follow the hashtag End Gender-Based Violence in Barbados.
Hashtag End Gender-Based Violence in Barbados.